And we welcome you to the Mile High City, Denver, Colorado. Mike Tirico, Hall of Famer Hubie Brown, Lisa Salters. The second round begins with the 2 and the 6 seed in the West. Denver and Dallas, and Dirk Nowitzki has hit the first 2 field goals for the Mavs to make it 4-0. Dallas is 2 of 4 from the field. And the Nuggets, fresh off their 5-game elimination of New Orleans, 0 for 3 to start. Carmelo Anthony just missed the last shot, comes inside, and he picks up the foul. Let's take everyone through our Taco Bell starting lineups here for Game 1. There's a note with Dallas. J.J. Barea stays in the starting lineup. He was there the end of the San Antonio series. Josh Howard, Nowitzki, Kidd, and Eric Dampier. And for the Nuggets, it's Dante Jones with Chauncey Billups, Carmelo Anthony, Kenyon Martin, and Nene. Melo at the line, gets the first points for the Nuggets, and here's Lisa Salters.
Well, Mike, a key matchup in this series is going to be the 6'9" Dirk Nowitzki, 6'9" Kenyon Martin defending the 7-foot Dirk Nowitzki. Despite his size advantage, Nowitzki says that he believes that Kenyon is the best defender in that 4 spot in the league. He says he's strong and he moves his feet well, so you can't just back him down and shoot over him. Kenyon Martin told me that right now the plan is for him to play him straight up, and he says if he gets the best of me, we'll have to double. I know his tendencies. I just have to keep him from doing the things that he likes to do. Mike.
All right, Lisa, we'll watch that. Dante Jones just picked up the first foul. Coach, give me a little feel for these teams, because they won their series in 5 and the other teams didn't play at their top. What are you looking for in this one?
Well, first of all, we have 2 outstanding fast break teams as well as high percentage three-point shooting. Excellent foul shooting from the Dallas Mavericks.
Nuggets back the other way after the Dampier air ball. Dante Jones working on Barea. He is listed at 6 foot. He is not. Foul on Carmelo Anthony.
The big thing in this game, Mike, is the pace of the game, the tempo. Yes. Can you keep it up for 48 minutes? When you look at the defense of Denver, they rely on forcing turnovers, steals, and block shots. They are in the top 5 in all 3 categories. But you look at Dallas, they are one of the premier fast break finishing teams in the league.
Big X factor, Josh Howard, who missed 2 of the 4 regular season games between these teams. Nuggets swept the Mavericks. Nowitzki, fans wanted to walk. Dirk has all half dozen of the Maverick points.
On all 3 field goals by Dirk Nowitzki, he has had a different defender. Mainly because Denver is switching. Sure, Kenyon Martin is on him in the initial move, but then they will switch, and then Dirk is taking his time and shooting up over the top of the defender.
Nene, 7th year out of Brazil. Tough pass with Chauncey Billups, who has 4 to shoot. Hasn't taken a shot yet. Here's his first. He was great from 3-point range in that first series. Dampier goes down awkwardly, slow to get up behind the play as the Mavs come to the front court.
Now he's smarting, Mike. Now we did notice that there was no collision there, and they need him because he has played extremely well throughout that San Antonio series.
In transition, Nene gets the first field goal for the Nuggets, as you see. Dampier holding his left hip, upper thigh area after that fall. It's a 2-point game, 4 minutes gone by. Here in the first.
Now, looking at the offense with Dallas. Now, Howard, a slasher, going to the basket. Now, we know Nowitzki is going to be a primetime guy. Can you eliminate your catches? Can you keep him from catching the ball 30 times in a half-court set?
Well, he's 4 for 4, has all the Maverick points after a quiet series against the Spurs. Nene responds inside.
First of all, when you look at Denver, they're excellent defensively. They force a lot of, they are extremely physical and very quick. Main thing now for Dallas, you cannot get worn down with the physical contact. Keep your focus, run your plays, and look for the high percentage shot.
Rick Carlisle's going to take a 20 so they can look at Eric Dampier, who's shaken up. Back in Denver in the early going, Eric Dampier came down awkwardly on this rebound. He has walked back to the locker, and watch that left ankle. You see him turn that left ankle. Now, when he came back up on the prior trip, he was holding his upper leg, but the athletic trainer, Casey Smith, takes Dampier back to the locker room to get looked at. So Ryan Hollins, 7-footer, 3rd year out of UCLA, checks in the dark blue for Dallas.
Now, this is a major drop-off because of the shot blocking and the rebounding and the intimidation in the lane of Dampier.
Rare turnover by Billups, who was great in the last series. Nowitzki red hot. 5 for 5 out of the gate for Dirk. 10-6 Dallas.
Mike, in not one of the 5 shots has the defense pressured him to force him to dribble the ball. Everything is at his speed. He's making the catch, he's staring the defense down, and then he's elevating, so naturally he has the advantage.
We say held to. He's held to 19 points per game. Still led the team in the 5-game elimination of the Spurs. Dante Jones tries 3. He's off the mark, and the Nuggets have been off early on here. 2 of 8 from the field to start. Future Hall of Famer Jason Kidd, who had a complete floor game in that 5-game knockout of the Spurs.
Like, he played and he made the medium jump shot. Most of all, he attempted 23 threes and he shot a sensational percentage.
Jones goes back to backing down Barea, and that'll count. Hollins with the goaltend and a chance for a 3-point play.
Okay, bad decision by Hollins. Young guy, does not get an awful lot of minutes, but they need him now. You can see it right here. Just let the ball go, all right? Mainly because the ball was on its downward flight.
So Barea picks up the foul. I believe he's going to come out as Dante Jones comes to the line. 60-year player out of Duke. You know him very well from his time and your time in Memphis. Dante, 4 years there.
Well, Dante Jones is a defensive specialist. He plays limited minutes, but in the open floor, transition game, he's a slasher, and he can make a lot of things happen for you. Extremely physical, and when you're talking 6'6" on these traps, you know he's difficult to pass over.
Knocks down the free throw. Cut the deficit to 3. Jason Terry has checked in for the Dallas Mavericks, the top 6th man in the NBA this year, replacing J.J. Barea.
Well, this is instant heat. Jason Terry and Nowitzki love to play 2-man basketball on the right side of the floor.
Kenyon Martin bodying Nowitzki, trying to deny the catch. And a foul and a push by Martin, and here we go. Welcome to the second round.
Now, wait a second. Why would you deliberately elbow him and knock him into the first row? Mainly because the shot clock is going down. You also have a guy rotating, and you can possibly get it. Now, just see, this is a lot of physical contact. But now just watch right there. See, you don't need that.
The officials will sort it out as we step out. A timeout halfway through the first. And the second round's underway. We're back. You look at beautiful downtown Denver on a glorious Sunday afternoon in May. A technical foul only comes off this, called on Kenyon Martin after the personal foul, obviously, as he forearms Dirk Nowitzki. Hubie, one of the reasons being physical with him, trying to slow him down. They have put a body on him up to this point.
Well, if you notice now, the defender is right with him, except they're not pressuring him to dribble the basketball. He's just shooting up over the top of the defense. Now, their goal was to hold Dirk to 20 to 25 catches, hoping that he will not get off 20 shot attempts. Now, in the early going, he's in a rhythm, and they're not getting where they are stopping the initial pass.
So Nowitzki has 11. George Karl was talking during the timeouts about how they need to defend Dirk Nowitzki and get the Mavericks to do a better job of that, or the Nuggets to do a better job of that. Mavs have it sideline out because Dirk wasn't in the act of shooting. And Josh Howard gives Dallas a 6-point lead, 15-9. Howard was really good in that San Antonio series.
Oh, my God. Look, they're happy to have him back. He's one of their premier defenders. He's also going to get you anywhere from 18 to 20 in a big game. And then the threat of him in the open floor is outstanding.
Nuggets keep their starting 5 on the floor, and as Carmelo Anthony drives, foul was called there. Let me come back to the New Orleans series. Denver 1-5. As you know, they had that ridiculous blowout victory, 121-63 in Game 4, tying a 53-year record for the largest playoff win. In that series, they were physical with Chris Paul and the Nuggets. Can the Nuggets be physical with the Mavericks in this series?
Well, I think it's a different type of being physical, mainly because Paul has the basketball, Mike, more than 75% of the
different
time.
animal here.
That's right. We're not going to see that here. There's a better distribution, more offensive tempo, and then also cutting from the other side of the floor.
Dante Jones on the switch gets Nowitzki, who comes ambling down the lane, and he has 13. He's hit all 6 field goals.
They can switch all they want. He's waiting for the switch. He's taking an advantage of the mismatch because Kenyon Martin is not on him as he's going for the basket or the attempted shot.
Nene backs down Ryan Hollins. He's off. This has to feel like Christmas for Nowitzki after San Antonio when he had multiple Spurs bodies coming at him. Jason Kidd and Chauncey Billups, two veteran point guards who led their team to those first-round wins. Another switch. Dirk again. That time a miss, and a loose ball foul will be called. And right now they separate Anthony and Hollins.
Now, Mike, in that situation, Nowitzki is definitely hit before he lets the ball go off, right, on the right side of the rim. Now, the people here, they're all upset over the foul call, but there was an awful lot of contact on the shot and then on the rebound.
Fans have been looking for traveling calls on Nowitzki as he's come through the lane. Here's a look at the last one.
Well, just keep an eye on it. Remember, you're allowed a 2 count, and there's his 2 count. The foot did not come down before the ball was in the air. As long as you pass or shoot, everything is fine.
J.R. Smith in for the Nuggets. Here's Josh Howard. Short. Nene gets the rebound for Denver. Nuggets won 54 games in their division. That's why they have home floor in this series. And Ryan Hollins is called for the foul as Eric Dampier walks back for the Mavs.
Well, Mike, that's good to see if you're a Dallas fan, mainly because this young man has been playing great basketball in the second half of the season for Dallas, as well as that first-round playoff. The rebounding, the intimidation in the paint, the shot blocking, and then he was getting 8 points for you. But he is a big man in that painted area.
Billups off the mark. Josh Howard the rebound as Dampier checked back in. Lisa Salters, what was the update on Eric?
Mike, they're calling it a left ankle sprain. He was retaped in the locker room. No x-rays. He's just going to try to give it a go.
You got it. Thank you. The guy whose ankle has kept him out at different spells during the year, Josh Howard, looks really good. He missed 30 games this year and a big difference maker for this Dallas team. J.R. Smith, instant offense. Cranks a 2. He's ready to shoot when he parks his car.
Absolutely. There is no shots what you would call, in his mind, a bad presented shot. A distance is no longer a factor when he makes the catch.
Lennis Kleza, who also checked in last dead ball, fouls Josh Howard. Okay, let's step back here. Big picture of this year. He'll be two great leaders on the floor.
Right. And not only, Mike, they are creators in the open floor. Both guys shoot over 40% in threes, and they're death on the foul line. High percentage foul point shooters. Now, with Nowitzki and Carmelo, you have the 4th and 7th leading scorers. The big thing, can you cut down the catches because they're going to be there at you. Terry and J.R. Smith. High energy, explosiveness, 2 outstanding three-point shooters, and also great off the dribble.
So some of the things to watch in this series, and here's one of the many other X factors. The Birdman, Chris Anderson, 7th year at a Blinn Junior College in Texas, checks in. He has brought a ton of positive energy to this team. You see his numbers there from the New Orleans series. He averaged 2.4 blocks per game this year, 2nd in the NBA. A guy who was suspended from the league for substance abuse policy violations for 2 years, came back with the Nuggets, has been a very good citizen and a terrific energy addition to this team. Billups, past Brandon Bass. 6 to shoot for Kenyon Martin. Who goes at Bass as well. That's good.
When you watch Denver play, they lead the league in foul shot attempts, 30 a game. In the first round against New Orleans, 30 a game. They are slashers. When they kick you, when you chase them off of that jump shot attempt, they are taking it strong to the basket. They're going to challenge your defensive ability.
Rick Carlisle takes timeout. Kenyon Martin, former #1 overall pick, going at Brandon Bass, trying to get the Nuggets back in game 1. Back in Denver with a reminder, ABC's Lost is on Wednesday at 9 Eastern and Pacific, 8 Central. All new, 5th season coming down to an end. 1 episode left before the stunning season finale. To change their future, the survivors have to erase their past. It's a plan that could end up killing them all. Lost Wednesday on ABC. Well, there's one guy who wears number 7 in this city forever. John Elway, who retired 10 years ago yesterday. And John Elway introduced Chauncey Billups to the crowd before the game.
Colorado, and the new number 7 in Colorado, Chauncey Billups!
I've got to say, there's a lot of histrionics that go on around the league with lineup intros. That was great. Jason Terry missed a three. Brandon Bass able to get the rebound and keep the trip alive.
Sellout crowd loved it. Loved it.
Josh Howard outside. He had a toe on the tape. It's a 2, and it's a 7-point Dallas lead. When Elway comes out and prisons you as the new number 7, that's something from the Hall of Famer. But Chauncey Billups is from Denver, Colorado. High school about 15 minutes from here. Drives the basket there. Kenyon Martin touched it in the circle. Offensive interference, no basket.
Now that was very close. That was very close because when you say, is the ball in the cylinder? If it's off the net, now just watch it right now. Did it have a chance to go in or out? Well, it was sitting there. So that was a good call by Danny Crawford.
Danny Crawford, Davy Jones, Tom Washington. The officials working this game 1, and here goes Josh Howard. He'd be as good a first quarter scorer as you see on a night-in, night-out.
Absolutely, Mike, and he shoots a high percentage doing it. We know that his attempts drop in the fourth quarter mainly because they play two-man basketball a lot with Nowitzki as well as Curry.
J.R. Smith off the mark. Carmelo Anthony came out with those 2 personal fouls. Meantime, the points on this end, Howard and Nowitzki, all but 2 of the Dallas 24.
Great block.
Anderson blocks pass. That's what he does. Gets the house going.
Like we are seeing terrific defensive rebounding at both ends, and it's paramount tonight because of the fast break game.
A bad pass by Billups sets up Nowitzki. Over Linus Plaza.
Got away with a push.
Dirk is asking Davy Jones that same thing. Billups the push.
The low hand, Mike, was right on his hip and pushed him.
Plaza short on the 3. You like the shots Dallas has been getting, or Denver's been getting?
Yeah, I do. And like we say, they're shooting too fast. No, that's how they play. They score 104 points a game. They like to get up and down. They'll go 1 option, 2 option shot.
Howard rimmed it out. Rebound for Anderson. He's got 3 of those in his first couple of minutes of action. Billups. Couldn't put enough English on it. The Mavericks run 4-on-2. Brandon Bass coming down the lane. Blocked by Anderson. The Birdman flying.
The Birdman came right out of the mezzanine. I mean, that was great because when the man going to the basket, watch right here, here's the Birdman trailing. He came a long way to get that block.
Wow. Yeah, he was up outside the 3-point arc as Bass started to set up to take the shot.
Chauncey Billups in the New Orleans series averaged 33 points a game in games 1 and 2. Then went back to 15 a game, like you usually get, 15 to 17.
Howard short on the 3, Martin the push. Nowitzki has checked out. James Singleton checking in here at the end of the quarter. Fun matchup to watch for these 4 through 7 games. Billups against Kidd.
Nice.
Anderson fouled as he tried to pass it out. That'll put the Mavericks over the limit and bring Chris Anderson to the line.
Mike, give the defense a ton of credit. The transition defense of Dallas has been outstanding against the fast break game. Chauncey Billups has not been able to get a good look once he's down inside that defensive circle. He has been challenged on every release.
Anderson, undrafted, started his career here. Went to New Orleans. We mentioned the suspension he served. Now back with the Nuggets. NBA calendar, let me remind you that TNT will have doubleheader tomorrow night. Games 1 in Boston and LA. They'll have doubleheaders Monday through Wednesday. We'll be with you Thursday in Cleveland. Congratulations to the Hawks. We'll see Atlanta in Cleveland and on ABC. A primetime game Saturday night, game 3 of that series. And then a week from right now, it'll be Rockets and Lakers. As we get to round 2, half the teams that made the playoffs have a tea time. Final seconds, Kidd on the switch. Good defense by J.R. Smith. The quarter comes to an end.
We saw an excellent switch there and then bodying up Jason Kidd so that he could not have the liberty to either shoot a 3 or then possibly take you off the dribble.
Nowitzki and Howard Hubie at 22 of the Dallas 24 in the first quarter. Nuggets shoot 6 of 17 after 1. Dallas by 8. This presentation of the NBA playoffs continues after this message and a word from your ABC station.
Thanks for watching ESPN on ABC, home of the NBA Finals.
Welcome back to the Pepsi Center. I'm with Mavericks head coach Rick Carlisle. Rick, you guys are up 8. What did you like about that first quarter?
Well, both teams are playing extremely hard. The game got a little frantic, but I thought our decisions were good and we're playing with some efficiency. But we just got to stick with it.
Dirk Nowitzki, 13 points in that quarter. He started off the game 5 for 5. Different defenders. How was he able to exploit every one of them?
He's a great player, and you know he saw double and triple coverage last series. They're playing him straight up right now. We know they have great defenders. He just got off to a hot start.
All right, thanks for your time.
Okay.
Mike.
All right, Lisa, thank you, and thanks to Rick Carlisle. Nowitzki will start this second quarter on the bench. Hubie, when you look at this first quarter, the way Dallas jumps out to me, Denver's got 16 points. And these guys score in their sleep. They only had one lower scoring first quarter all regular season. J.R. Smith causes some contact, knocked out of bounds by Dallas.
Now, you just saw 4 blue shirts in the paint, Mike, and that's the reason. The defensive rotation by Dallas, outstanding. They're challenging every guy going to the front of the rim and not worrying about foul call. Up until now, nothing bad. Now, also, 0 second chance opportunities for Denver. They've missed 11 shots.
Phillips takes a 3 and knocks it down. Chauncey was great. 19 of 29 shooting threes in that first round elimination of New Orleans.
Mike, that is the second highest shooting percentage in the history of NBA playoffs.
In one series. Yeah.
In one, that's fantastic.
Only Derek Fisher had a better three-point shooting series back in his playoff career. How about 9 in a row for the Mavericks? Josh Howard as Dallas leads by 7.
They're just taking their time. They're running their offense. They're getting guys in position, either open or to take a man one-on-one.
And a travel on Nene, one of 2 starters in the game. And Carmelo Anthony's going to come back in here, Hubie. He picked up 2 personal fouls, only 1 shot in that first quarter.
Mike, he's the 7th leading scorer in the league. He shoots a high percentage. He's your main guy. He's your 23-point guy. And then he had a banner first round where he averaged 24, shot a good percentage, made the threes, and a terrific night on the foul line also.
At 34 in the last game, the closeout game here earlier this week. Dampier was tricked, and Davy Jones has that foul called on the Nuggets.
Denver is a team that adjusts on the fly during the game. They will change their defense. If you notice, that's their first hard trap in the corner. George will change up. He's not going to play the same tempo of defense throughout the 48 minutes.
The foul was on Phillips. Josh Howard turned that ankle as he cutting contact with Phillips and turned that ankle. Nene the other way of the dunk, but maybe the big story of the series right there at midcourt, Josh Howard, whose ankle problems kept him out for some 30 games this year, went down right away on it. And Casey Smith, the athletic trainer, is out. You could see all the Mavericks coming out toward Josh Howard. They know that this guy is an X factor, a difference maker for them. You see the ankle turn right there as he tried to stop.
Now, Mike, that's a situation where you have a bump by 2 defenders and the feet get tangled up.
Timeout called as they look at Howard. Okay, key moment in this series here in the second quarter. Josh Howard, such a decision maker, an X factor. He injured his left ankle multiple times this year. This is the right ankle. If you've turned ankles in your life, turn the other way. This is one of those things that just hurts to watch. Casey Smith, the athletic trainer, took him back to the Mavericks locker room. Again, that's not the ankle that has bothered him. The left ankle will need surgery at the end of the season, but for now, no Josh Howard for Dallas.
Now, that is a major loss, not just because he has 11 points. He averages 18 a game. The key is at the defensive end. He's the key guy to guard Carmelo Anthony.
And you see right there, 14 over 500 with him this year, 4 games over 500 without him. Hit missed the 2. Anthony gets the rebound for the Nuggets. Down 5. We're a couple of minutes in. This is game 1 of the best of 7 Western Semi. Game 2 is here Tuesday. Game 3 not until Saturday in Dallas. This series has a long stretch. Anthony working on Wright. Draws the foul.
I like that. I like that a lot. By posting him up and going right at Wright. No way are they going to give Wright a non-call. And that we can see. If you're going to play behind him, Carmelo Anthony is going to have a field day.
Anthony Carter is going to come in to replace Chauncey Billups. His first break at point guard. Dirk Nowitzki is going to come back in the game for Dallas. Last time out, here's what George Karl told the Nuggets.
Remember, all year long, you've been a team that wears people down. Don't worry about the scoreboard right now. Just keep playing the right way. Keep playing hard.
Hubie, we had a great conversation with Chauncey Billups yesterday, and you asked him about how he came out so offensively aggressive in the first game against New Orleans. He took 9 threes, made 8, scored 36 points. Very atypical from all the games we saw. And his answer was pretty interesting.
Yes, he did, because he went to 3 different guys on the first 3 possessions. He didn't like what he saw in regards to, are they loose? Are they just going within the flow? So then he decided, I've got to get going, and that's how he ended up with averaging 33 in the first 2 games.
And this is a situation where he thought the team would come out comfortable. They're getting good shots. They just have not made a lot of them early on. Smith the miss, rebound Nowitzki, and you see live Josh Howard coming back from out of the tunnel after being worked on in the locker room. Meantime, J.J. Barea goes to the basket. He gives the Mavericks a 7-point lead.
Now, with Jason Terry in there and Barea, they have 2 guys who finish on the break. They are outstanding in the open floor. That is going to be a big problem for your transition defense for Denver.
3 seconds.
It's to shoot. Anthony Carter, veteran, been around the league a long time. 10th year in the league, playing the point. And Wright gave Melo no room to go. And he said, how in the world is that a foul on me? Just because he ran out. That's, in the old days, that would have been a force out.
Yeah.
Right?
Very good call, by the way. Yeah, very good call. Yeah, I don't know why he fouled him. All he had to do was just take one more step, and Carmelo could not have turned his shoulder into the baseline.
Shot clock at 2. Nene knocks it down. 5-point game. Lisa, what are they saying about Howard's ankle?
Well, Mike, pretty much the same update that I gave you for Eric Dampier. The right ankle, he went in, he got it retaped. He's probable to come back in the game. They wanted to wait until he got off the table to put some weight on it, and apparently he told Casey Smith, feels good, so he's coming back in.
Now, is that the real report, or did you just recycle the last one?
Well, I was thinking maybe you guys could just rerun the old one, but, you know.
Very good. Thanks, Lisa. That's great news for the Mavericks fans as well. Watch that ankle. Meantime, Barea watched by the Birdman. J.R. Smith takes his turn, Nowitzki. A lot of contact, and the foul is called on Smith. Remember, Smith and an elbow thrown at one of the players, Antoine Wright of Dallas, added a little spice to this series during the regular season.
Now, on that play, just watch this right now. Now, you see, definitely Nowitzki steps in and pushes J.R. off, but the contact happened before. The people are upset, but the contact happened and the call was made before we had that push-off.
Some good acting there as well, all the way around.
But I want to tell you, we're having people getting blasted here pretty good, Mike. But it's at both ends. And what you have to do, this is the playoffs, you adjust. They're going to set a tone here, and they set it in the first quarter how this game is going to be refereed.
Nowitzki was trying to get the foul call. Anderson doing a good job, and they love him here.
Listen, the Birdman made that hard, Mike. Come on. The Birdman was right up there on that.
Now he's got the ball inside.
People just think the Birdman blocks shots, that's it. No, he has great hands. He can score. You just throw the ball to him. He'll make the catch. And if he's in an area where he can play the board or dunk, if not, he's going to pass to another player.
Now he tries to defend Nowitzki again, and Nene was on the weak side from the block. Carter runs. Nene down the lane. Oh, my! Barea, goaltend. Nene got that before it went in. 3-point lead.
Remember we told you at the top now, Denver right in the top 5 in steals, forced turnovers, and blocks. They're second in the league in block shots. They challenge everything, and they have 4 guys who can get up there and block.
Nene going through this full offensive arsenal. Tipped in by Carter, the 6'2" point guard.
Now, isn't it right? First offensive rebound is by the point guard.
The backup point guard, undrafted. 10 years in the league out of Hawaii. Foul on the outside. See who that's on. It was on Melo. That was his 3rd foul.
No, that's a bad foul, and that was great defense. All right, what we can say now, keep an eye at the other end of the floor. The Birdman is very coordinated. He has great jumping ability. Down here, you get a shot block. The Birdman could have had that. Nene came in and finished, and now Nene sends it down. Second in the league in shooting percentage at over 60%, right behind Shaq, #1.
Anthony Carter went for the steal. He fouls Nowitzki. And the big story here is that Carmelo Anthony's done for the half in all likelihood with 0 for 1 from the field, 3 fouls. So Denver's going to have to get through half one, game one, without their top scorer.
Mike, Denver puts a lot of pressure on the 3 guys refereeing the game because they're shooting the gaps. They trap hard. There's a lot of physical contact. Now you've got to decide what's a foul today, what's not a foul. So when they go at you now, and the Denver fan, he wants the non-call.
Nowitzki got a little space. Rebound J.R. Smith. Anderson's done a nice job. Dirk hit his first 6, missed his last 5. Nuggets for the lead. Nene!
They do that as well as anyone. They are quick feet. They're big people. When they set that screen and roll, good hands, and then they don't fool around. They go for the power dunk.
Jason Terry, a silencer, a 3 for JT.
And they got to get him involved. They got to get him some looks. And by that we mean not just Nowitzki. Get Jason Terry going.
Oh, it's all going easy at the rim today. Count it, and a chance for a 3-point play. And Denver has scored its last 6 trips, and they are getting to the front of the rim.
It's just a matter of time, Mike. They're very quick. They're very explosive. Now just keep an eye on the 2 baskets here that we're going to show you. Now this is just a great pick and roll, and then there it is. Send it down strong. You notice the blue shirt scattered. And then right here, same thing. Now, Dampier had a shot at that, but he could not get up high enough.
Well, Sunday Night Baseball presented by Taco Bell. Those of you watching us down in the Metroplex in Dallas-Fort Worth, over on ESPN tonight after baseball tonight at 8 Eastern, 7 Central. It's the White Sox and the Texas Rangers. And Monday night, the Red Sox make their first visit to the new Yankee Stadium. Major League Baseball on ESPN. Out here, the Denver Nuggets care about the community. Nuggets forward Carmelo Anthony showing his appreciation to the members of the military when he served as an honorary coach during a recent youth basketball game at a local Air Force base. Anthony gave the young athletes little pointers, some encouragement, how to help themselves on and off the floor. Carmelo Anthony leading the Denver Nuggets, all part of the NBA, where caring happens. Not much happening for Melo here in this first half. 3 personal fouls, 0 for 1 from the field. Maybe the one thing about this Denver team, they've got other people who can pick up that offensive slack.
Well, they have a nice 9-man rotation, Mike. And when you bring in, you can either come with Klazia or you can stay small. Right now, Denver small. With Billups and Carter in the backcourt, they're playing J.R. Smith at the small forward position. They are winning the battle of the paint, 22-12. That's a +10. On the break, 8-0. That's where they are very dangerous.
Nene made a career best 72% free throw shooting season. Missed there. We're tied at 35, halfway through. Knocked away, J.R. Smith takes off. And transition baskets and fast break baskets for the Nuggets here in this second.
We can't emphasize it enough in this series. You have to pay attention, Dallas. You can't have a laissez-faire attitude when you have the basketball, because the Nuggets are going to trap you hard, and as the game goes on, fatigue comes in. You have to watch out for the deflections.
I was about to say before that turnover, let's watch Josh Howard on that right ankle. He's pretty well there. Dampier couldn't put a fork in it, and the Nuggets run again.
Now just think of it, with Nene in there with Anderson, Birdman, they have been a force down here defensively.
Nice twisting move by Nene. Couldn't get it to go, and Terry the rebound for Dallas. Kidd, Terry, Howard, Dampier, and Nowitzki. And it's Terry for 2.
Yeah, I've got to see more of him. Mainly because he shoots such a great percentage. He's outstanding behind the three-point line. You can't foul him because he's going to shoot in the high 80s.
Oh, nice play from Nene cutting. Beautiful setup with the action out high.
I like that. That was a called play. And you liked it mainly because they said Dampier cannot cover Nene over an 18-foot area going to the basket.
Nene has 12 in the second quarter. Howard a three. Doesn't look great on that ankle. His 2 shot attempts didn't look like normal Josh Howard. Phillips got it back. Anderson. Dampier was waiting at the rim. It's out off Eric and 9 to shoot for the Mavericks.
Nice rotation by Dampier. Instead of allowing Anderson to go in uncontested and possibly get a dunk, you know, he challenged that one all the way.
And then he checks out. Great hand. Once the 7th overall pick of the draft by the Knicks in 02.
Well, George is staying with the Birdman. He's giving him long minutes here.
4 to shoot. Here comes Martin right at Nowitzki, right off the bench. Dampier the rebound. And they within 2 points of his playoff career high. And we still have 27 minutes to go in this one.
Let's shoot up over the top range.
Yeah, Nowitzki backs J.R. Smith all the way down.
Now you're looking at this and you're saying, why are they playing him one-on-one? Why aren't they trapping him? Mainly because that's their philosophy. They're going to stay with him, head up, whether they switch, and they don't care about the mismatch. They do not want the other players to get the open three-point shot off of the trap.
We're going to trap Smith. He just put it on the deck. He gets to the basket. 4-2. J.R. Smith has some awful shot selection at times, but he also makes some great individual plays.
Well, I like the matchup. He's on Jason Kidd. Quick feet, and also he can contest.
Future Hall of Famer Jay Kidd knocks it down. Second tour of duty, of course, with the Mavericks.
Mike, you can't lay off. You can't stay behind on the screen. See, once again, we see that both ends of the floor. On guys who can make the shot. Jason Kidd can make that 18-footer coming off the screen. You don't step up, I'm going to shoot it in your face. And we just saw Carter at the other end do the same thing.
Nuggets have made 12 of their 19 shots here in the second. Nowitzki, after the great start, has gone cold.
He's on the front of the rim, Mike. He just needs a little bit more on the lift.
Smith came straight out of high school in Jersey. Tough shot. And he'll come to the line and get some free throws after this timeout. Denver Nuggets have battled back. Dampier picks up his second foul. And here in the Mile High City, it's the home team +2.
What I do have are a very particular set of skills that make me a nightmare for people like you.
The Dallas Mavericks needed a win to gain an edge in the tied series versus the Phoenix Suns. Playing at home, Dallas's Dirk Nowitzki takes over the game, scoring 50 points to lead the Mavericks to a win and eventually the series to advance to the NBA Finals.
Remember being there. It was a great night down in Dallas. Nowitzki leading them there. Hey, Wednesday on ABC. On the special 1-hour season finale of Scrubs, TV's funniest doctors, in for some shocking twists, surprise visits from old friends, and of course, plenty of new laughs. We got Zach Braff and the gang. Season finale Scrubs, Wednesday, 8 Eastern, Pacific, 7 Central on ABC. Well, we had 45 games over a couple of weeks, some great games, and now we're down to 8. 4 franchises that have never won the NBA title, including these two, Dallas and Denver, with Orlando and Cleveland being the others. The Hawks franchise won in the St. Louis Hawks days, but not Atlanta. And the winner here will get the winner of the Lakers in Houston. What are your thoughts on that series that starts tomorrow over on TNT?
Yeah, I like it. I think Houston has to play perfect in order to win. Can they win one game in LA? Extremely difficult to do. I also want to know, what is the status of Bynum? Is he going to make a major contribution in that series? Because they're going to need him with Yao. Can Yao stay out of foul trouble?
Here, Kidd gets it to Dampier. Got bumped a couple of times. Stays in there for the backboard shake and dunk. Dampier sprained his ankle in the first half. He's looked pretty good. On this end, Nowitzki will pick up his first personal foul. That makes the Colorado natives happy.
Remember, he told you early in the game, Denver is #1 in the league in foul shot attempts. 30 a game, #1 during the season, and they average 30 in the first round against New Orleans. Now, this will be 9 and 10. As this game moves on, their energy level in this building is outstanding. They pick up the speed as we move through quarter to quarter to quarter.
It is the first time, Hubie, that the Denver Nuggets have been in the second round in 15 years, and this town is really excited. It's one of the rare times, really, since then, that the Nuggets are the #1 sports story here on the Front Range. And this franchise energized, buildings hopping, and George Karl's one of the big reasons. 57-year-old coach who said, I'd love to retire here as the coach of the Nuggets. He's been here 5 seasons now. They've improved each year. A lot of Carmelo Anthony, but certainly the difference maker this year was the trade with Detroit. Allen Iverson gone from Denver, Chauncey Billups coming in, and it's really taken this group to another level.
Well, the defense, the mind games that can be played by a point guard, his ability to make the three-point shot. You foul him, he's one of 4 guys, 5 people who shot over 90% on the foul line, and he's missed the big shot, no doubt about that. But then also, what George told us yesterday, the basketball gods bestowed on them Birdman Anderson. When they lose Camby, Camby goes to the Los Angeles Clippers. All of a sudden, that's right. There is an opening here, and who walks in, offers his services, works out for the team, and he has just had a spectacular season.
Anderson's been a huge energy addition. That Martin free throw snaps 4 misses in a row and puts Denver on top by 1. We have a little stoppage in the game as J.R. Smith had a cut on his back. It was tidied up by the athletic trainer, Jim Gillett. Howard on the drive. Goaltend as Anderson got that on the way down.
That's okay, though. Anytime you have a shot blocker who can cover ground like that, he was on the other side of the lane, and he came across to make that. You just tell him, just keep doing your thing. Just don't do anything silly, because that was a close call.
Dallas back on top by 1. Lots to the rim for Anderson, and he is fouled. And we got a couple of free throws coming up. We have the T-Mobile halftime report coming up. Magic Johnson, Michael Wilbon, John Barry, Stuart Scott in the host chair. The Hawks advance to the second round. Over Chauncey Billups' Fave 5, his Fave 5 leaders. And a semifinal preview in the East, where it will be Boston, Orlando, and Cleveland, Atlanta. You know, while we all sat and watched night after night of can you top this with Chicago and Boston, that great series, some exciting stuff with Houston and Portland. They kept bringing fruit plates and new treadmills to Kobe and LeBron. Workout, practice, guys stay healthy. Everybody okay? We haven't seen these guys in a week. It was great entertainment, but oh, by the way, the 2-1 seeds are ready to get back at it. Right. Pop to a screen. Kenyon Martin?
Yeah, you just can't go. You can't push your way through the screen.
Well, here are the headlines in the East. The 4 teams that have moved on that great Boston-Chicago series.
And the greatest ever series of all time in this league.
And moving on out here in the West, obviously the Lakers we talked about, the 2 teams we're seeing. And yeah, with good effort from Ron Artest, I'm interested to watch the combustibility factor with Artest guarding Kobe Bryant, Battier will chip in. What will LA be able to do, what will Houston be able to do against LA's leading scorer?
Well, you know that Houston is a terrific defensive team half court, no doubt about it. And then also, we know that the Lakers are going to score the basketball. Yeah. They're going to be up over 100. Can Houston, big question, can they score enough points in this series to beat the Lakers?
Jay Kidd split the pair. Dallas back on top by 1 with 1:35 to go.
Now remember, we told you at the beginning, we have 2 excellent three-point shooting teams. In the first round, 10 a game for Denver. In the first round, Dallas 8 a game. Tonight, both are 1 for 5.
Great steal by Kidd. It's a 4-on-1. He lost the ball. Double dribble called by Dave Jones. And Jason saying, wait a minute, I never got that second hand on it. That's why I was letting it go.
That's right. Now keep an eye on this now. You're going to see now what he goes to, now he can go and pick that ball up. That's a loose ball.
Yeah. That second hand came to touch, but never was on the way down. So that's why he was letting it go. So the Nuggets get it back. You see each team is giving it up 5 times. Star of the half, Nene. Comes to the free throw line. Yes, Nene, 16 points, a couple shy of his playoff career high.
Mike, he's been so active in the painted area, whether it's in the fast break game or in the post-up. In the post-up, he is coming back on a reverse move every time in either getting the score or getting to the line.
Fans go to NBA.com/amazing right now. Create a video playlist of your favorite NBA playoff moments. Choose from an extensive library, those best playoff moments. Share them with your friends. Maybe Denver's historic upset as an 8 seed of Seattle. Dirk's Game 7 at the Alamo in 06. Cisco and the NBA let you decide. Your amazing happiness. So happy to see Nene back, Hubie. Remember, opening night 06, he tore his ACL, missed the entire season. Missed half of the 08 season with testicular cancer. Been able to come back and have a 14.8 rebound season. Very good offensive player for George Karl.
Well, he's a complete guy because he can rebound the ball, he can block shots, he can score, and he's a good foul shooter. Decent foul shooter.
Nowitzki got a step, got bumped by Anthony Carter. And it's just so different to watch here because in that first series against San Antonio, the Popovich defensive philosophy, and Greg told us, double him, we're not going to let him get anywhere. Today, 6 for 6, but still the offense is running through him so much when he has the ball.
Well, what they're doing is they're making a decision. We are not going to put 2 guys on Dirk like they did in San Antonio because Dirk became a totally unselfish guy.
Right.
He attempts 20 shots a game during the year. He only attempted 13 against San Antonio. Why? Because he kept passing out, opening up the three-point game, and they averaged 8 3 makes. Well, George Karl, their staff, up until now, remember we told you, George changes a lot. They're saying, hey, we are going to live with Dirk beating us with a ton of points. We're going to play him man-to-man, and now we are not going to give you the good three-point looks.
Nice find by J.R. Smith to Chris Anderson, and in the growth of J.R. Smith, the Nuggets think he's got some point guard talent and ability. They'd like to see more of that.
J.R. says, listen, I'm a shooter. Come on, man. Come on, Mike.
Dampier keeps it alive for Jason Kidd. He'd love to play more point guard. His decision would be my shot.
Yeah, will we ever get into option 2? Okay.
3.5 the difference. Game and shot. Back end of a very good first half. Nene slapping at Dirk. Dirk on the deck.
Oh, boy.
Turns it over. J.R. Smith looked at the clock. He's got Carter. He's got Phillips. It'll be Carter.
Now, Mike, they rode Nowitzki all the way with the left hand.
Carter knocked it away. Like Brian Dawkins, the new free safety for the Broncos. Listen to the crowd in Denver.
Mike, Nowitzki is close to a technical.
Furious he didn't get a foul call there. Anderson knocked it away. 0.3 of a second left.
Now, in my opinion, Dirk Nowitzki was rode all the way. You can see he's explaining it. That left hand of Nene was right on his hip, and you could see the push when he elevated to make the shot.
Can quickly catch and shoot. Howard got it off, but too late. No basket. At 0.3 of a second, it's the last possible time you can catch and shoot, but he kind of carried it in his hand a little bit. They wave it off, and now a discussion as the half comes to a close. One more look at it.
Now keep an eye on this now. Now remember, he can catch it and shoot it. The big thing is it out of his hand?
Was not, according to that replay. The lights were on the backboard. Big quarter for the Nuggets. They score 35. They take a 51-47 halftime lead. And here's Lisa with Chauncey Billups.
Thanks a lot, Mike. Chauncey, you guys were down by 9. What changed for you guys in that half?
I think just the intensity of the game. We finally, at the start of the game, it seemed like we was playing a regular season game and not a playoff game. We finally stepped it up with the intensity and turned the tide a little bit.
The impact of Chris Anderson. What was your favorite Birdman play of that half?
All of them. All of them. I mean, I love Bird. He's 100% effort every night. Every time you look at Anthony Carter, our whole bench is playing great right now. They're holding us down.
All right, thanks for your time. Mike?
Lisa, the Nuggets outscored the Mavericks by 10 since Chris Anderson entered the game. You see the T-Mobile halftime report, the stories that Stuart Scott, Michael Wilbon, John Barry, and Irvin Magic Johnson will cover coming up in our studio. 18 for Nene in that first half, equaling a playoff career high. 16 for Nowitzki, but Dirk only hit 1 of his last 8 shots in the half. At the break, Game 1, Western semifinals. The second round's underway, and the 2-seed Nuggets lead by 4.
Loving It highlights.
And I said, hey now, give me the meltdown. Take it out on me this time around. Oh no, it ain't over now. I can feel the world spin around and round and round. Hey now, give me the meltdown. I can feel the world spin around and round and round.
today's McDonald's Unlimited Highlights.
I wouldn't doubt we'll have a meltdown or two in this series as we go on. Well, Rob Thomas gets us set for the second half. Game 1, best of 7. West semis. Nuggets 51, Mavericks 47. Mike Tirico, Hall of Famer Hubie Brown. Lisa Salters comes along here in a second. Dirk Nowitzki, great first half. Show us a little bit of how Dirk is so effective at getting open and getting good shots.
Well, they ran good half-court stuff, Mike. Now keep an eye on the first screen. Now watch as the man comes up, receives the pass. You'll also watch now on the dribble, they go to trap the man with the basketball, leaving Dirk wide open. Now he has an option. Once the pass comes back to him, you're going to see that he will have an uncontested jump shot or a ball fake and a drive to the basket. I just keep an eye on it now. Watch, he reads the defense perfectly, goes to the hole, and that is one of his 6 field goals. Now right here on the switch, he's just shooting up over the top. Now as this goes on, every time that he had a mismatch with a point guard, he would shoot. Now once Anderson came in the game, the Birdman definitely put a lot of pressure on. Now keep an eye right here on this hip. That's the play where right before the half, Nowitzki was very upset, and then it starts the fast break at the other end of the floor.
It was physical with him. He hit those first 6 field goals. Nuggets got more aggressive, 1 of 7. We'll see if the fouls of the defense continue in the second half. Meantime, Denver, hey, Chauncey Billups and Carmelo Anthony give you 7 points, 1 of 5 from the shooting from the field. Ouch. But what about this to build in?
Now, Nene was absolutely spectacular, but the real shot in the arm, Smith, Anderson, and Carter, hey, come on, they were 8 for 13 from the floor. Anderson, 3 blocks. Defense was better, scoring better in the paint.
All right, Lisa Salters.
Well, Mike, I was talking to Rick Carlisle, and he said, look, efficiency is going to be a big theme for us in this series, and we were not very efficient in that second quarter. We had 6 turnovers that led to 10 points for them. I also asked him, how do you get Dirk Nowitzki back to that hot start? And he said he's got to just chip away at it. Let the game come to him. There's a certain level of patience that we need to have, but we also have to be aggressive. Mike?
Well, Carmelo Anthony, you almost knew he'd be aggressive early on. That's good coming out of halftime. You got your top scorer, only 1 field goal attempt. Get him going to the basket, maybe get him going in the half.
I like what they did. George Karl is old school. He's going to run stuff for people who are his best scorers who are struggling in that first half.
2 players who sprained ankles in the first half. J.J. Barea missed the 3. Eric Dampier and Josh Howard start this half for the Mavericks, and there Nowitzki able to get one going. It's the most space he's had to shoot in a while.
Remember we told you now, the bench has been the big key. We have 2 of the most productive benches in the league here, with Dallas being number 1. First half, 18 points for Denver and only 7 for Dallas.
Tom Washington has a foul call on Dampier. It'll be his 3rd personal foul. Brandon Bass has 3 for the Mavs, and we told you Carmelo Anthony sitting with his 3.
Yeah, Dampier's got to be a little careful now. You do not want to pick up the 4th and have to sit out and wait for that 4th quarter.
They got double. Dante Jones free on the baseline for the dunk.
They have a lot of athletes here in Denver, and they all run well without the ball. Once they make the catch, they all can dunk, and they can take off and cover a lot of ground.
Barea loses Billups at the top, and the foul is called as Chauncey was working around. Interesting there, Hubie. Billups was guarding Barea. Melo Anthony on Jason Kidd.
Well, what they're doing here in that matchup is what they're saying is that Kidd's not going to drive to the basket. He's going to be looking for the perimeter 3, all right, once that shot clock goes down.
Melo takes it, wants to go with it. 3. Rebound, Kenyon Martin. Anthony, dive into the basket at Kidd. And 1.
So that's a bad foul by Jason Kidd. You either foul him where he cannot get the ball up above his number, so then he would go to the line and only shoot 2 foul shots. But when you give him that ticky-tacky foul, now all of a sudden he's a 3-point scorer. And you can see he has come out of the locker room on fire.
Carmelo Anthony, whose scoring went down this year, still, as Hubie said at the beginning, 7th in the league, just under 23 points a game. But his scoring has gone down the last couple of years as he has worked around better players. And honestly, this is the best team effort you got from Denver, starting with the acquisition of Billups for Iverson and the healthy play from Kenyon Martin and Nene. Largest lead of the day for Denver. Nowitzki twisting on Martin for 2.
He can play with his back to the basket. Unfortunately, he doesn't go down there enough, or they do not run things for him to make the catch enough, because he is so quick and he has so many head fakes and ball fakes, and then he can play the basket.
Shot fake by Nene. Travel.
I want to give Jason Kidd a lot of credit here in this first half. He has really stopped Chauncey Billups from finishing the drive, Mike, once he breaks that foul line area.
Left free for three with that Nowitzki screen. Nobody came up the top. He knocks it down.
Well, in the first round against San Antonio, he shot it 23 times, and he had an outstanding three-pointer. So you know that he's feeling good about himself at three-point range.
10 for 23. Digging down there to take it away from Nene. Mavs a nice little push. Howard gets it to Josh Howard off that right ankle. Looks a little bit better with a bounce in his step in this third quarter. 7 in a row for Dallas.
Now he cannot settle for jump shots. You know you got Carmelo Anthony with 3 fouls on him. Every time you make that catch in that, you've got to challenge him. He must play you off the dribble.
Correa tried to pull it, but Martin just stronger. Yanked it away from JJ, and Kenyon Martin scores.
Like they're just killing them in the painted area. Denver is owning the paint. They were a plus 18 at halftime.
Jason Kidd, little old school, this short bank. Nobody was expecting it. It's like, it's fine.
He went in there in slow motion.
Yes, he did.
We don't need that slow motion camera here tonight, okay? I mean, that was great.
Dante Jones got hit in the face as he scored that one. Couple of field goals here in the second half. But Jones went to Rutgers for 2 years, and then Duke his last 2.
Well, they're saying, look, if you're going to play Beret on me, I like what the Denver staff, they're going to post him up.
He swings at Dampier, and Nene fouls there. They come to the line. Whatever that energy, that little edge that we had from the mid-first quarter on is gone now. It's kind of going up and down. People are getting a little bit easier shots here.
Well, what they're doing is they're reading the refs, they're reading the situations, they're reading the defensive game plans. And once they solve it, then naturally everyone gets into a free flow.
That's a great point. They're going to change the way they're calling it from the first half to the second half. Good point. Dampier, not a great free throw shooter, 64%. Which the coaches are telling their teams at the half.
You made it here because of your defense. It's all about playing defense. You play that first, everything happens behind it.
Defend, rebound, attack, all right, let's play smart.
All year long, what you have done is you penetrated and passed it and moved it and wore teams down.
Hey, we're aggressive to attack. We take the shots that are there. If we don't have it, get it moved.
There'll be a lot of folks who may not have watched the Nuggets throughout the season hear George Karl talk about defense, but that is really what has changed with this team this year. Commitment to it and execution of it.
Well, they're holding teams down, you know, like 6 to 7 points below what they did a year ago. And that is the commitment of all 5 guys. You can't play good half-court defense with 4 guys out there because everyone will find the weak link.
Anthony didn't give up twice inside, and Dampier didn't convert.
Remember we told you now, they're in the top 5 in steals, forced turnovers, and hey, block shots.
Correa stayed right with Anthony, made him dribble into a turnover. There's JJ from Puerto Rico to Kidd. 2 for Jason, and back to a 1-point Denver lead.
Transition defense, we say in this series, you're going to be tested. Because remember, Dallas is the #1 finisher. But then also you have Denver up in the top 5. So your transition defense has got to work hard.
Phillips, contested shot. Mavs can take the lead. Nowitzki. Got it. He has such good touch on those very awkward releases, and the Mavericks retake the lead, a 14-4 run.
Like in the first 6 minutes here, he's had 2 of those where the ball has bounced very high, but because of the softness and the backspin, it's pulled right back into the net.
Denver tries to go back to Nene, 18 in the first half. A couple of free throws coming here. Dampier the foul.
Well, just keep an eye on Jason Kidd. He's feeling it, see? Mike brought out a good point. He made 10 in the San Antonio series. Now, Dirk is going to take you down inside, and he's going to go with that fadeaway. If he cannot get the uncontested finish with the left hand, he'll throw that fadeaway.
Interesting now for Rick Carlisle here. That foul on Dampier was his fourth. He's going to bring in Brandon Bass instead of Ryan Hollins here.
Well, what you're happening is Bass is one of your key guys in your 8-man rotation. It's Terry, Bass, and Wright off the bench. Now, he is at 6'8". He doesn't give you the shot blocking, but he gives you the rebounding and the potential of scoring. That's what we said earlier when Dampier picked up number 3. He had to be careful here. They're going to have to go here now 4 to 6 minutes, without him. They'll bring him back at the beginning of the fourth quarter.
It'll be interesting. Bass had that's a new playoff career high, by the way, for Nene with the 20 points. Bass had a good series against San Antonio, but Denver is a longer, bigger team inside. Will he have that same impact?
Excellent point.
Nuggets will use zone from time to time in this series. Double Nowitzki, hit a 3. Jason Kidd, he's hit all 4 field goals he's taken here in the second half.
Double Nowitzki, the double Nowitzki. He will pass out of the double, and the second pass opens up 3-point attempts.
Josh Howard trying to climb over as Carmelo Anthony, who's coming around, picks up the foul. It's 4 on the Mavericks here in this second half.
Now, we'd like to show you the double team. Now, watch Kenyon Martin come on this double. See, he's 7 foot. He looks right up over the top, and he's throwing the ball to a guy who is on fire behind the 3-point line.
A lot of weather. They made it through last night at the ballpark in Arlington. Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN. White Sox Rangers wrap up their 3-game series, and then Monday on ESPN, you'll see the Red Sox first visit to the new Yankee Stadium. Major League Baseball on ESPN. Of course, baseball tonight, every night of the week. Hubie, Dirk Nowitzki, can it be? It's his 11th season he's wrapping up at 30 years old. Go back to the days in Germany, and a lot of people question the selection, 9th overall pick in 1998. There's Nowitzki with Steve Nash early on in their Dallas days, but the game continued to improve. Not just the outside game, but the ability to get to the basket, leading to the MVP in that somewhat hollow season of 2007. And, of course, one of the elite big men outside shooters, winning the 3-point shootout at All-Star Weekend a few years back. I don't know if it's because they got knocked out by Miami in the finals, the way it happened, and then the next year, 07, but I feel like he's underappreciated for how incredible he is at 7 feet.
Well, when you think of his career, Mike, he's a guy who can get you 35 in any big game during the season or at playoff time. He had a sensational year this year. He's going to be on the All-NBA team again this season 9 times out of 11 years, either first, second, or third team. So who are these people who are not appreciating this guy's game?
Kenyon Martin will come to the line after the foul. The question over there at the table, it's Barea. Okay, J.J. Barea picks up his second. It was funny, I was talking to Mark Cuban when we were doing a game earlier this year, and it was before the trade deadline. There was conversation of, will the owner and the GM move Dirk Nowitzki? They came back to, wait a minute, here's the reality. Well, Mark's picture just showed up on the screen. That was the reaction from the fans. Mark said, wait a minute, go back and look at Paul Pierce. Same years in the league, similar in age. Paul Pierce was the guy that they added Allen and Garnett to, so it's up to us to add pieces because Dirk can still be the focal point of a successful team.
Mike, he's your leading rebounder. It's a shade under 9 a game. Okay, he's not a big shot blocker, but that's okay. He does everything else. When you shoot 49% and a high percentage in threes, and you're one of the best foul shooters in the league, come on. I mean, what's not to like here?
Josh Howard picks up the foul. Jason Kidd wanted one on the other end. It was not called. There you go, Hubie. In postseason career, 25 or more points, 10-plus rebounds on average. Nowitzki with Elgin Baylor, Hakeem, Bob Pettit, and Shaq. That's it. Minimum 50.
I would say that's an elite group.
You think?
Okay.
It's a Springfield group for sure. Hall of Famers there. Been a good quarter for Dante Jones. He comes to the line. Ties it at 66. So let's set the lineup for you. Games 1 in Boston and LA, TNT tomorrow night. They'll have doubleheaders Monday through Wednesday. We pick back up Thursday on ESPN. Game 2 of Atlanta at Cleveland. A doubleheader Friday. Game Saturday. Saturday night primetime. We'll have Game 3 of Cleveland and Atlanta. And then Sunday on ABC, you'll see the Rockets and the Lakers as they move through their series of Game 4. So very busy week. 2 games most days and nights. We look forward to it. Another three for Kidd. It's one off. Jones got the rebound. It's Jones, Phillips, Kenyon Martin, Nene, and Melo trying to get position on Jason Kidd.
Yeah, you got to look down inside, mainly because he had a mismatch. He had a point guard on Melo.
He's able to get the rebound, get rid of Barea. Phillips a three.
Yes.
Timeout, Dallas. The kid from Denver, and one of the guys he idolized growing up, introduced him tonight, John Elway. And we're in the new Denver 7. Phillips knocks down a three, and the Nuggets lead by 4. Chauncey Billups' second made field goal. Both threes has put the Nuggets up 4. We mentioned the homecoming. Born here in Colorado, twice a high school champion at George Washington High School. Just 15 minutes here from the Pepsi Center. He was a McDonald's All-American in high school and then went to Boulder, Colorado. 2 years of college there before his NBA trip. So coming back home where there's a lot of family still here, it has been a storybook season for Chauncey.
This year has been like a dream come true for me, man. It started crazy, you know, getting traded from the team that I really didn't want to be traded from. But after that, man, it's just been unbelievable being home and, you know, succeeding and doing the great things I've done for this team and being able to be in my own community, affecting lives, and, you know, just having the success that we've had has been unbelievable.
And on cue, he breaks up that pass that almost led to a Dante Jones layup, but Jones couldn't convert.
Now that was really a beautiful offensive set. You know, they ran a lot of movement, and then Billups just shot the gap defensively and gambled and got that deflection.
Nowitzki working one-on-one with Kmart. Good defense by Martin to deny Dirk. Billups the push.
Kenyon Martin was right up in his chest.
Anthony missed. Jason Terry comes back with Kidd, Nowitzki, Howard, and Ryan Hollins. Early catch for Dirk. This time he's got Nene, but he's got Josh Howard free. And three was off, and it'll go down the other way with the Nuggets.
Now just watch as Kenyon Martin, he's using his forearm, which is all legal. See, the forearm went right in the back again, and then a perfect block.
Dirk is so good with the shot fakes or getting up quick that the height, everything else, he's so impossible to defend. And a great job there by Martin.
Well, that's going to be a terrific matchup throughout this series.
Martin misses in the offensive end, and the top rebounding guard in the league, Kidd, couldn't get it to Terry.
We have not seen the fast break game of the Mavericks. It's 14-2, Denver in fast break times.
Phillips missed the three. The outside shooting has not been there for Denver, and this ball's out of bounds last off the Nuggets.
The Nuggets know that they are eating Dallas alive in the painted area by movement, quick moves, off the dribble. So you don't need the long jump shots, you know, with plenty of seconds on the clock. You can always get that once you get inside of 5 seconds.
Well, you see beneath there the score. They are destroying the Mavericks in the paint. Anthony defends Nowitzki. Stripped him. Dirk got it back, and a foul call at the back end of the shot clock.
Now, you can see, if you're a Dallas guy, you wanted the bump when he was down below before he even elevated. Now, the fact that they get away with all of that contact, you know, is, watch this here. So you got the strip, but you also got the arm. Then you got him right across the neck. So, you know, that was an easy call.
That's 4 on Anthony. Nowitzki to the line. J.R. Smith, Anthony Carter, he'll be in for Denver. Anthony will go to the bench.
Well, when you realize that Dirk Nowitzki is 7th in the league in free throw shooting at 89%, and it's staggering because he attempts over 500 free throw attempts. He just has a beautiful touch.
Hours and hours of work. You know, Rick Carlisle played on the Celtics championship team with Larry Bird in the 80s and worked with Larry and became very good friends with Larry, worked with him in Indiana. And Rick told us earlier this year, Dirk has a Larry Bird work mentality. He's got a routine and he gets his shots all the time. J.R. Smith with a twist inside for 2. The comparisons have been made because of the size and everything else of Nowitzki to Bird over time, and people kind of scoffed at them, and understandably, you know, Larry won championships and was a better assist guy than Dirk. Anderson the steal, Anthony Carter.
Early on, we told you, this is a team, meaning Denver. They're physical, they wear you down, and over 4 quarters in this building, you have got to pay attention. You cannot lose your concentration, or they're going to get easy baskets on the break.
Great stuff. Great stuff.
Now, you can't play him any better.
That's right. Both ways.
That's right. One guy's 7 foot, the other guy's 6'9". Once the guy elevates, he's got the advantage, but more important, he's got the reach.
10 in the quarter, 26 in the game for Nowitzki. Denver by 4. JR splits with the top, and Smith counted in a foul. Mr. Point Guard skills.
I like what you said at the beginning. I hope this guy wants to go to the basket. Well, on the last 2 possessions, he is just blown by his guy. Now, once again, the bench has stepped up. We told you in that first half they had 18 points. Now here is Anthony Carter out on the break, and now here J.R. Smith. Now he makes 2 strong drives with acrobatic, reaction to the defense to finish.
Yes. Dirk gets a break, 26 points. Look at the bench scoring. John Barry said it at halftime, and I love telling John that he's right. But he's right on. The bench production from the Nuggets story here, and the story as the series goes on. Great team defense. Phillips into the first row, but he saved it to Bass. Hollins on the finish.
But Bass has got to step up here. He's got to understand that when he and Hollins out there right now, they cannot be guys that they're not going to be played. Anytime you get an easy opportunity, you've got to finish in traffic.
JR pulling up to 2. Smith gets another one. Only Jason Terry got more votes for 6th man of the year.
Well, Mike, 11 times this year he has come off the bench and has scored over 20 points.
Does not lack confidence. Carter, great read.
Look
the steal.
out.
Anthony Carter. Timeout, Dallas.
Good timeout. And once again, that 9-man rotation. And when they come with this second unit, they are explosive.
They score on their last 5 shots, and it is the bench. J.R. Smith knocking one down. And then Anthony Carter comes along, gets the return from Chauncey, and the Nuggets extend to their largest lead of the day. Rocking the Pepsi Center, Wednesday special 1-hour season finale of Scrubs, TV's Funniest Doctors, a shocking twist, surprise visits from old friends, plenty of new laughs. Season finale of Scrubs, 8/7 Central on ABC.
But the second unit's out here right now. Terry's the only guy that you got to really worry about. So what's happening? The Denver defense is playing tough on the ball. The other 4 guys, they're not playing zone, but they're in all the passing lanes. They're so quick defensively on shooting the gaps, and give Chauncey Billups, some love here, because he has just made 3 great defensive plays.
First foul last 2 minutes, so side out of bounds for the Mavericks.
Now you got to guard this guy. You can't trap him enough. Let him give up the ball.
Double comes on Terry. Brandon Bass with the shot clock running down.
Sure.
It'll be right. Oh, you talk about a bailout 3. It works. 6-point game.
You know what, though, Mike? You'll give him that shot every time. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You guys played 23 seconds of great defense, and they've it's a crowd now is going berserk.
Plug pulled on the shot clock. Anderson sets the screen for Smith. He's got Hollins. He takes a 3. And we had a loose ball foul down here on Dallas with 1.8 to go. The activity of Chris Anderson again forcing a whistle.
Even though Denver shoots a very high percentage, they were 5th in the league at 47%. They are an excellent offensive rebounding team because of the athleticism of their 4s and 5s, the guys at power forward and center position. Never mind Carmelo Anthony.
Man who's been all over China, the IBL. Does anybody out there have a Fargo Moorhead Bees throwback jersey? Fayetteville in the NBDL, and then coming to Denver, we mentioned for a couple of years, moving to New Orleans, the 2-year suspension for violating the NBA substance abuse policy. Back in the league, Played 5 games with the Nuggets. Really did a great job of working out. And George Karl said, I sat him down. I wanted to know what he had, what his intentions were. And he said, he spilled his heart. We had a 45-minute heart-to-heart. He's been great all season long.
I like what George said about the IQ. He really has a sound basketball IQ.
His energy helping the Nuggets. They lead by 7 after 3. And our presentation of the NBA playoffs continues after this message. And a word from your ABC station.
Welcome back to the Pepsi Center in Denver. I'm with Nuggets head coach George Karl. George, how has your bench through 3 quarters so far changed this game?
Well, we've been relying on them all year long. JR's been good. Chris has given us energy, and AC's been great. I mean, they're playing a lot of pick and roll, and so we're going to probably play small a lot. And AC's probably our best pick and roll defender on the perimeter.
Now, in that first quarter, Dirk Nowitzki was hot. You kept him relatively quiet in the second. He came alive again in the third. What's going to be your defensive strategy in the fourth?
Right now, my gut says we're just going to keep playing them straight up and hope fatigue comes in. I think, the game was a little offensive, too offensive-minded for me in the third quarter. I think if we can put a low 20 defense on them, I think we'll win the game.
All right, thanks for your time. Mike?
All right, Lisa, we'll watch that number. Jason Terry opens the fourth quarter with a 3 to make it a 4-point game. Denver's had the better play, Hubie, in games 2 and 3, or quarters 2 and 3. But Dallas very much in it here as we start the fourth.
Well, you like what the bench is doing. There's no doubt about it. It's 30 to 14 in bench points.
Carter missed the 3, Nowitzki a rebound.
Now, right now, you can see that Denver's playing small again with J.R. Smith at the small forward position. They have Carter in there along with Chauncey Billups.
Ryan Hollins tried to draw a foul, got it to Nowitzki. Oh, he better not get an assist on that.
Well,
2-point game.
Like anytime the small unit switches on Nowitzki, it's playing right into the hands of Dallas because he will just stop the defense and then shoot up over the top.
Dirk with 28. Anthony waiting to come in. Anderson. Chris Anderson, 3 field goals, 9 points, 4 block shots, 5 rebounds, and a couple of assists.
How about the fact right now Denver has 8 blocks and 11 steals. Fast break game, 18-2 in favor of Denver.
Swing it to Terry. Nowitzki's got size inside on Carter. Billups goes up to get the rebound.
What a great block out. Anthony Carter blocked out Nowitzki.
Anderson diving to the basket, fouled by Wright.
Good foul. Force him to go to the foul line.
There you go, the bench production. Just those 3 guys right there. 32 points, UV, and 14 of 21 from the field.
Well, you just can't give them enough credit, Mike, because they defend, they fast break, they shoot threes, then you got the Birdman blocking shots. They really work together, and then it comes down to George Karl. Who will he leave out on the floor? Well, he's kept Chauncey with this group for a lot of minutes in the first half as well as in this half.
One more for Anderson. ABC's lost on Wednesday night, Eastern and Pacific. 8 Central, all new episodes. It's the 5th season's coming to an end. 1 episode left for that stunning season finale. So we'll see what happens next on Lost Wednesday here on ABC. Anderson makes the pair. He has tied a playoff career high with 11 points here today.
Now they have Anderson on Nowitzki. By bringing in Carmelo and Nene, they're able to match up with the other big people.
The switch, Terry's got Anderson, shoots over Chris, knocks it down.
Now that was difficult, mainly because the Birdman was right on top of him, and then when he elevated, he had to put extra arch on that shot.
2 minutes in, fourth quarter. Smith's on Nene trying to split the double at the top, but it goes out of bounds. This game 1 of the best of 7, Western semifinal. Game 2 is here on Tuesday, and then you'll have a 3-day break in the series. Game 3 in Dallas will be played on Saturday. Anthony lost it out of bounds, and the Mavericks can get it down to 2 or 1. It has not been a good day for Carmelo. Foul trouble and never in sync.
Two-man basketball. They love to do this in the fourth quarter.
Oh, Anderson, great block. Anthony on the run. to the rack. Foul. Chris Anderson, difference maker in this game.
Now that was just great defense that time. They isolated, they played two-man basketball. Birdman just left Nowitzki and went right down in there, go for the block. Now you know that Carmelo just came back in. He's not passing in that situation. He's attacking. He is attacking the rim.
Bird Nation. Chauncey Billups, it was the end of the first round series, and Carmelo Anthony was talking about the whole kind of whose team is it kind of deal, right? You see the two guys who have led this team throughout the season, but only 4 of 13 and 16 points. And it's Carmelo Anthony's team. There's a lot of talk about that with Iverson around. It's Billups' hometown. No, as Carmelo said, it's Chauncey's team. It's a hometown guy. But Chauncey made the point, look at the reactions to Nene and his good play. And Chris Anderson may be as popular as anybody in Denver right now with the way he comes in and adds that attention. And Billups' bottom line, when you win, you all get the credit. And that's what's going on here now.
And that's the best bottom line of all. You know, I always notice how it's this guy's team, that guy's team when the team wins. When the team loses in the NBA, I notice all of a sudden it becomes the coach's fault.
Team.
Okay, it's his team.
That's right.
On all losses, okay, or when they get beat in a playoff series, right? No, I like what Chauncey said. I'm all about winning, and I think that, hey, we'll all get love when we win.
8-point lead as Anthony connects. Timeout, Dallas.
Yeah, good timeout. Right now, you can't save them. You got 8 minutes to go.
All right, time to take a look at our Bud Light freeze frame for today, and it's been a bunch of blocks from the Denver Nuggets. Chris Anderson leading the way, tying a playoff career high with 5 block shots. And Hubie, they have 10 block shots as a team this afternoon.
Well, as you can see right now,
Nene as well.
Yeah, at 6'10", he's extremely agile and he has great timing. He'll leave his man, he'll come across, and if you notice, he blocks a lot of shots, ignites the fast break, and in this game, it's 22-2 in fast break points.
Lisa Salters, more on Chris Anderson.
Well, Mike, you saw me yesterday having a long talk with Chris Anderson in the hallway. Really an interesting guy, incredible.
Put this group together, and this is what you always talk about. When you're going to play a lot of guys, you need them to contribute, and they have here today.
Well, the 3 people off the bench, in Smith, Anderson, and Carter, all have scored in double figures. Then you add the fact that their defense, which we've been saying from the top, with the 11 shot blocks, the 17 forced turnovers, and then 13 steals have just been outstanding. The open floor game is mind-boggling, 24-2.
13-point lead. Can the Mavericks get some stops to make it a game? Anthony doubled, spun out of it, finds Nene. Free throws coming. Foul by Ryan Hollins. Now, you always talk about playing a rotation, playing 9, playing 10. And I know rotations tighten up in the playoffs, but how important is it to have those guys give what the Denver bench, guys like Carter going out now, bring to George Karl's team?
Well, George Karl needed it today. He needed his bench to give him the shot in the arm because the game was going back and forth. And then when they came in, not only did they score the basketball, but they forced the turnovers, got the block shots, got the people in the stands back in the game, and got the fast break game going. And we cannot say enough about that. Now just look at the minutes here. 27, 20, and 25. See, George stayed with Smith and stayed with Anderson in that first half for long minutes. So give him a lot of credit by not putting the regulars back in. And then also the fact that Carmelo was in foul trouble had a lot to do with that.
29-16 Nugget advantage since Chris Anderson came back in the game here in the second half. Brian Taylor, our stats man, passes that number along. The Birdman was +10 and was +- in the first half. Good defense by Billups. Here's Anthony, taken away by Jason Kidd, one of the elite steal men in NBA history.
I mean, this is
right back over.
This is absolutely amazing what has happened in the last 6 minutes of play here. I mean, the turnovers are off the chart.
Oh, Jay Smith.
they're just taking the heart right out of the team. There's no doubt about it. The turnovers at 18 now, or 19, and the fact that they're scoring in the transition game is so disheartening to you.
5 on Melo after that foul. Here's Smith right at Nowitzki, and Dirk just checked out of that. Last 13 possessions on this end, Hubie, for Dallas. 0 for 6 in the field. 6 turnovers. They went to the line once and made both of those free throws. There you see it.
Mike, we're talking about one of the best teams in the league for fewest turnovers. They only average 12 a game.
Nowitzki got right past Anderson and lost it, and we're going to have a foul as Billups was heading the other way. Ryan Hollins slapped him as he slapped it away. There's a lot of turnovers here for the Mavericks. Dallas, 20 turnovers here today.
Yeah, it comes down to you're on the road, taking care of the basketball. You did an excellent job for 3 quarters. You had good execution. And then all of a sudden here in the 4th quarter, whether it is fatigue or whether it is loss of focus and concentration of the philosophy of your game plan. And then now we're just running a track meet at the one end of the floor.
One more for J.R. Smith. So Rick Carlisle have to put some pieces back together. You know, Rick worked with Chuck Daly during his New Jersey days, and Rick is the president of the Basketball Coaches Association, and he was the one who got started this idea of that pin, that Chuck Daly pin, that all the coaches, a lot of the support personnel have been wearing throughout the playoffs, supporting Chuck in his battle with pancreatic cancer. Kudos to Rick for honoring one of his mentors, and something that everybody in the league said absolutely, anything to support Chuck. Dunk by Hollins makes it a 15-point game, 4:10 to go. And the other bench knows all about it. George Karl battled prostate cancer. His son Kobe, who was in the league with the Lakers last year, also had a bout of cancer that he's thankfully gotten past. Nene, same thing. By the way, a young man who was out for half of last year with testicular cancer. He gets that hoop, extends his playoff career high.
I think when you break down the film of this game, no doubt about it, the Dallas staff has a lot to talk about. Not only the turnovers, Mike, but the fact how they are getting whipped in the painted area. They're being out-muscled by the physical and athletic ability of the front line. Now, we realize this is only game 1, right? We know that there'll be tremendous adjustments, and we're seeing Denver at their best.
Goes the fun of game 2. Somebody wins game 1. Okay, let me see what you're made of now. What did you do? What wrinkle do you have to try to get back to even in the series? That'll be Monday night here. J.R. Smith. So Hubie, I'm watching these 2 guys, Kidd and Billups. Jason misses the shot. Thinking about Derek Fisher with the Lakers. You know, all the young point guards, and they are studs. Tony Parker, Chris Paul, Darren Williams. Melo knocks down the 3. Look at all those young guys. The veteran point guards have had their say in the first round of the Western Conference playoffs, getting their team to play at the highest level. Largest lead as Dallas takes a timeout. 17-point advantage for the Nuggets. Glorious day here in Denver. Nowitzki started strong in the first half, but the defense of Chris Anderson, the bench support from J.R. Smith, and then the big guns get going here with Carmelo Anthony and Smith, a huge 4th quarter. Nuggets pulling away on their way to a game 1 win. As we come across the top of the hour, we remind you that world news or your local news next on many of these ABC stations. Give you an idea of how we've arrived at that 17-point lead for the Nuggets. Great start. Dirk Nowitzki hit his first 6 field goals. George Karl's team adjusted.
They're making them shots. That's a good thing.
If they're going to keep shooting them that way, we'll worry about that in the 4th quarter. We don't worry about that now. Okay?
Well, Hubie Brown, it wasn't the 4th quarter, but as the 2nd and 3rd quarter went on, more physical play from the Nuggets on Nowitzki.
Absolutely. They go for every shot block, Mike. They already have, in this game, 11 blocks. So there's going to be a lot of body contact. What it does, it gets you to, A, be intimidated, overpass in the painted area, and then also lose your focus. Because they not only give you the shot blocking, but also the steals and the forced turnovers. Now remember, we told you their fast break game, 29-2 with 2.5 minutes left. Staggering stuff.
You see Nowitzki on the bench. He is done for the afternoon. Gerald Green fourth year straight out of high school in Texas, checks in. J.J. Barea with the miss. James Singleton also in for the Mavericks, down 17 here. So game one likely to go to Denver. What kind of adjustments can you do on the Dallas end for game two on Tuesday night?
Well, first of all, I think you have to start off with Dampier and Howard have got to be healthy, okay? Because Howard is off to a great start. So is Dampier, doing defensive blocking. But then the big thing is the bench. The bench has got to step up here now because it cannot just be Terry. They've got to get three guys to score the basketball. They need a good eight-man rotation.
We always talk about in the playoffs those role players / bench players. At home, you can almost count on them to be better than they are on the road. Problem is you don't want to be 0-2 down when you get home.
No, that's right. We have two excellent home teams here. Denver 32-8 in their building, and at the other end, Dallas is 32-9. Both teams are extremely difficult when they're playing on top of their game.
Phillips gives the foul so the guys can check out and get a big hand.
Now they deserve it. They got all the hustle points, and they got all the physical points, and then their defense was absolutely outstanding.
This is the only franchise of those four ABA franchises that came over to never win a title either in the ABA or the NBA. Nets did in the ABA in San Antonio, obviously in their NBA days as well in Indiana. Mavericks get the basket from Baz to make it 108-91. Johan Petro, Linus Kleza checked in with Dante Jones and Anthony Carter at that last foul by Billups.
Now, in the last series, Kleza averaged 10 points a game.
That's right.
He did not get action today. They didn't go with the 9-man rotation. They went with the 8-man rotation up until this last 3 minutes.
Petro, first-round draft pick of the Seattle Sonics, off the mark. And Green able to get it on the other end. As we watch this game wind down, Hubie, tomorrow night's game one of the Lakers and Rockets. Give me your thought on that series.
Well, I just think it's going to be a great series. I think LA is a heavy favorite. Houston has got to play perfect basketball. Can Yao and Artest stay on the floor? And then guys like Brooks, can they get their points because they've been playing terrific basketball?
Petro went for the dunk and a foul. You got the other two series in the East. Who knows what Boston will have left. Game one with Orlando. That series comes up tomorrow night in Boston.
Yeah, but they're going to crank it up. Come on, that's a winning franchise. You're coming off being the champions of this league. Main thing for them is they got to get healthy. And that step back, the amount of minutes that their key guys had to play in that series, which was just spectacular. And, just healthy for the NBA, healthy for Chicago, because they're going to grow from this, and they really have an excellent nucleus for next year.
And Atlanta wins Game 7. Atlanta had been a while since they had won a playoff series, same like Denver, but both teams get the playoff win. Atlanta moves on for the first time since 1999. And we'll see Atlanta and Cleveland in Game 2 up in Cleveland on Thursday on ESPN, and then primetime Saturday night on ABC. We'll see LeBron in the ATL on ABC.
Well, Atlanta's a very tough out at home. And also the fact that Williams and Horford are healthy. They need both of these players to be healthy in this Cleveland series.
Singleton knocks that down. Nuggets will have to shoot or give the ball over to Dallas here as the clock runs down. We'll let the Nuggets fans enjoy the back end of this game one. George Karl, who hasn't been to the second round since 2001, able to get his team here, and they will get a 14-point Game 1 win, 109-95, and Dallas will stay here and regroup for Game 2 on Tuesday night. Back to wrap it up in Denver in a minute. Remember, local news or world news for many of you still to come here on ABC. Denver wins by 14. Be right back. Dirk Nowitzki at 28 in a losing effort, 24 career playoff high for Nene, 23 for Carmelo Anthony. Chauncey Billups only had 6 points but 6 assists, and the sloppy Mavericks turned it over 20 times. Second round, game 1 of the NBA playoffs goes to Denver by 14 with Hall of Famer Hubie Brown, Lisa Salters, and our entire crew, Mike Tirico. Don't forget The Unusuals Wednesday on ABC. And up next, it is your local news or world news on many of these ABC stations. We thank you for watching. We'll see you in primetime Saturday night with LeBron and the Cavs. Thanks for watching the NBA on ABC, home of the NBA Finals.